Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. We're going to let a few more people come in. Yes, the chat function is still not functioning for us. So in the Q&A section, you can ask away. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in just a moment. I'm going to turn the jazz back up for Chris. All righty, it's 1:02. We'll go ahead and get started. Can you see me with my dark background? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the December session for AATW. Happy holidays. Well wishes for this December. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. We're uber excited to have you for this session. Go ahead and click the slide. So guess what I get to do? You see that there are an array of people on this particular session. Our team has grown abundantly. My name is Alexis, and I'm going to allow my amazing team members introduce themselves. Go ahead and take it away. I have Michael above me. Michael?
Afternoon. I am Michael Sheriff. Probably most of you have talked to me at one point. I am a business analyst for HMI support. And tag out to Stephanie G.
I am Stephanie Grader, program specialist with the HMIS team. I'll go with Stephanie C. She's the next person I see.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I keep getting a low bandwidth when I try to turn my camera on, so I apologize. You'll have to deal with my day one at Solari headshot. But I am the manager here of this wonderful team at HMIS, and I'm going to go ahead and punt it to Dakota. She's next on my screen.
Hello, I'm an HMIS program specialist, soon to be transferring to a business analyst on the 211 team at Solari. And I'll bump it to Frankie.
Hi, I'm Frankie Dees. I'm a program specialist for Solari. Glad to be here. Sorry, I'll bump it to John. Sorry, John.
No, it's okay. My name is John Nelson, and I'm a program specialist here with the HMIS team. And let's go to Laura.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura. I am a HMIS program specialist as well. I'm going to do Jonathan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Butler, and I am an HMIS specialist as well. And I will pass it to Natalia. Natalia, I apologize.
No worries. Hi, I'm Natalia Conway Thornburn. I have been with Solari for 3.5 years, but over on the 211 resources side. So I am moving to become an HMIS business analyst here shortly. So, hello, everybody.
And I'm Gia. I'm an HMIS program specialist. Hope everyone's doing well.
So Stephanie fixed the chat. Here is our amazing team. You guys can totally talk to us in the chat now. So questions, do the Q&A function, and then we now have the chat back. I'm utterly excited about that. So let's get into the meat and potatoes with our webinar reminders. Because this session is being recorded prior to the break, we're going to get this stuff out to you that first week in January. And remember, this is pre-recorded. You'll be able to complete all of this information with today with us. And your new folk or people that are not on the call, take this back to anyone that this information is pertinent to, your case managers, etc. Your attendance is collected by a survey at the completion of this session, so we know who you are and what agency you represent. That's how we do it around these parts. Next slide, please. Okay, we are back. So we got a little bit of slack about not having office hours in December, but they're coming back in January. And here are our future dates for AATWs. The scope is once a week, an hour. And what we're going to do, like we've been doing in the last few months, we're going to put those links for all the office hours inside Service Point. You can click a link and come and join us for any type of Q&A, a direct support response during those office hours. We hope you guys are enjoying and liking office hours, and they're coming back in January. Step C.
All right, let's go over the agenda for today's session so we all know what to expect. Today, we're really going to be talking about HIC-PIT, which is the housing inventory count and point in time count, as many of you are familiar with. Today, we're going to go an overview of some updated steps on what we're asking agencies to do, just a little bit different from last year, and we'll get into that in just a minute. For those of you who might be new to this federal reporting season, the point in time count is a look at how many were homeless on one night. So a snapshot of homelessness in the region, and we combine an unsheltered count. So the folks that go out at about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and are counting folks out on the streets, we combine that with who we know was sheltered that night and also considered homeless. And then the housing inventory count, it's what our inventory was on that same night. So on one night of inventory, what provider programs, how many beds and units they had that were dedicated to serving folks experiencing homelessness. So what we'll go over for HIC-PIT today is we'll go over those updated steps. We'll look at a schedule of upcoming actions, things to be on the lookout for, and then some more details and some frequently asked questions for each step of the way. And then the reports, we are currently making a few updates too. So the reports that we're going to go over today will be available for you to run after January 2nd of 2023. And next slide. All right, so we'll start with a general overview of some dates and what we're looking for here. So for both balance of state and Maricopa COCs, the night of the point in time count is the night of January 24th. And what we are going to be doing is looking for these program types to be verifying information. So we're looking for permanent housing program types, permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, other permanent housing, emergency shelter, transitional housing, and safe haven. Rare, but they do exist. And then if you are on this list, we're going to be asking your agency to verify information about those projects. So that'll be your agency and project information, could be things like addresses and things like that. We're going to be asking you to verify the bed and unit inventory for your projects that have a bed and unit inventory. And then we're also going to be verifying the client served on the night of the PIT. So that would be the night of January 24th again. All right. Pass it on to Stephanie G to go through the schedule.
Okay, so the schedule for the HIC-PIT is on January 25th, the HMIS team will send each agency primary contact the list of projects they must verify. Agencies may begin early running reports to do preliminary inventory checks. Also from January 25th to January 31st, agencies would run the reports and complete DQ cleanup. Contact HMIS for any assistance or to report a correction. Also from January 31st through February 7th, agencies will verify data using the correct report for each project. January 31st through the 7th continued. After agencies verify, you will run the reports a final time, now showing the correct information. Agencies send the verified reports to the HMIS team. And then February 7th, it's the deadline to send the verification reports to the HMIS team. February 8th through February 14th, the HMIS team will work with selected projects on additional follow-up. And so January 25th through the 31st, frequently asked questions. So who receives my agency's list of projects? Oops. We send the list to your agency's primary point of contact, what reports need to be run. So we have the 02 or the 0628 HIC supplement report, and this is for permanent housing, permanent supportive housing, rapid rehousing, other permanent housing, and projects to verify their data. And the 0630 is the sheltered, unsheltered PIT. And this is for emergency shelters, transitional housing, safe haven projects. Again, this is we use this report to verify your data. And then when should the report be run? Agencies are required to run the report for the night of the PIT, which is January 24th. But the reports are available now.
Hello, I am Michael again. Some information about when to run the reports, how do you know when they're correct? So how do agencies know when they're done verifying? So you run the reports or rerun the reports until they're accurate for each project. Please remember that you're not going to be able to check immediately after making corrections. It does take 24 hours for an update to show in the SAP Business Objects reporting tool. What should agencies do when the reports are accurate? Please send them to us. That's what for our final. Send them to the HMIS team directly to the help desk. You may create a ticket if we have not created one already. We'll do the final submission deadline. Last day to verify that all your reports are accurate is February 7th of 2023. Next slide. What should I know about these reports? So each report has multiple tabs. Provider information, I'm sure most of you have probably seen this before. So provider information contains details about the project. So we'll be asking questions of your agency admins intermittently to verify that these details are correct. Bed verification, that is, what is your bed capacity, your bed unit inventory. We may occasionally talk about if you've been through a project setup before, you've been asked about bed unit inventory. And of course, the client count, the number of people enrolled in your project on the night of the PIT. Once again, reminder, don't forget that it does take 24 hours for your changes to show up. So you're not going to be able to look immediately and see that your changes are effective. If the client's counts are incorrect, you can again set up a ticket or send us an email to discuss the client count as it shows in Service Point. And we can help you out with technical assistance if there's a problem in your project setup. And now Dakota.
All right, so I will be going over a review in HMIS of how to run the reports. But first, what happens after submission? So starting on February 8th, the HMIS team will follow up with agencies as needed if you haven't submitted your report yet. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so this is HMIS. I'll do my demonstration in the Maricopa County HMIS, but it's the same steps for balance of state. So from the home page, I'm going to connect to business objects up here in the right-hand corner. And then I'm going to go to folders to get to all of the reports. And then the folder that it's going to be in, you have to open up public folders, and then you open Arizona Live folder. And then you open the federal reports folder. It'll be in HIC PIT. And then you're going to run the 2023 version. So I'll do the HIC report first, the 0628. So you go to the right-hand column and click on the 3 dots, click on schedule. And then, so remember that you're only running these reports for one project at a time. We need a separate report for each provider in the list that we send you. And so we do recommend that you edit the title with the project ID number. So I was going to use this ID number as my example. And this makes it easier for us to know which file is which when you send us all of your HIC reports and HIC and PIC reports. And that's all we have to do on this page, just edit the title, and you can go to the next report features page. And then for the format, we recommend that you initially run it as Excel reports in order to review the data and do some data correction. It's easier for you to look at the data that way. But for the final run, we'll want to run it as a PDF format, which is Adobe Acrobat. And then for the prompts, you go over here on the right-hand side to edit prompt values. So you just select which provider you're running this for. And then you can skip the other prompts. This just is the default EDA provider, and the effective date is going to be the day after the PIT, January 24th. So you can just leave these alone, and all you have to do is put in your provider. So we're keeping it simple. And then you click apply. And then all you have to do now is just scroll down to the very bottom of the page and click on schedule down here. Okay, so now it's running for me, but I'll open up an example that I've already run. So here is what the HIC looks like. So we're going to have a video walkthrough coming soon. We will put the link right here when it's available. The dates will be the same for this year because we're making a new one for this year. So these are all of the instructions that you follow. So first you'll start with the verify number of clients served on 1/24/23 to verify the number of clients housed in your project on the night of the PIT. So for permanent housing projects for the 0628, this is the number of clients who have a valid housing move-in date. So only clients will only be counted if they have a valid housing move-in date before the night of the pit, but after the entry date into the project. So if you look at that list, if you look at this page and you verify that all of the client counts are correct, then you can move on to step 2. And if the client count is not correct, you're responsible for correcting the data in HMIS. And if you have any issues, you can submit a ticket to the help desk. And you would refer to the section titled Client Served Audit to assist in identifying errors, which I'll show you below. And once the errors have been fixed, rerun the report on the next day and repeat until all the errors have been corrected. And then once your client counts are accurate, then you'll need to verify the provider information, the project information, which includes verifying the bed and unit inventory. So if you scroll down here, this is what this page looks like. So you have the number of households and clients in each household type, households with at least 1 adult and 1 child, households without children, households with only children. And then you'll have the count client unique ID, which is the total number of all the clients that you need to verify. And then if there's any issues with this number, you'll scroll down to the client served audit, which provides a detailed list of all of the clients in your project on the night of the pit. And so there will be hints in here to show you where any data errors are. For example, if you have any invalid housing move-in dates, it will appear in red text. The date here will appear in red text. And so that gives you an idea that you need to change that housing move-in date if that client needs to be counted on the night of the pit. Okay, so once you're done with verifying client information, then you scroll down. This is a long client served audit. You scroll all the way down to verify provider information. And so you need to verify all this information, including the address, city, project zip code, operating start date, program type, housing type, target population, grant cycle start date, and then the federal funders that are funding this project, if there are any. And then we have a definition of federal grant types if you need assistance with identifying them for this question. And then we do have an additional tab, an additional page this year for verifying the bed and unit availability. So you just ask yourself, is the listed bed inventory information correct below? And then if yes, no action is needed. And then you can save and send it to the HMIS team. If no, then do not make any modifications to this document. Make sure you contact us to have the data corrected. So we will update your bed and unit inventory in HMIS if it's inaccurate. So this is telling us how many total beds were available on the night and how many total units were available. And it's not talking about the amount of beds that were occupied, it's talking about the total number that were available. All right, and then the steps for running the PIT report, the 0630, are the same steps in HMIS, and it looks like this. It looks very similar, and there's a similar process, but you don't have to worry about housing move-in dates for the PIT because it's for emergency shelter, safe haven, and transitional housing projects. So you can see it has the same page here where you verify your client count. And this project has an example of when you'll see an error on a report. This is noting that there's a head of household report for 4 clients that you'll need to fix in HMIS. So this example shows that this is a household right here. And then there's 2 people in one household identifying as the self head of household. So that's incorrect because every household needs to have a head of household, but it can only have one head of household. Okay, once you verify the client information, we have the same provider information to verify there and verifying your bed and units for the pit as well. All right, so there's an extra page here on accident and we will fix that. All right, so are there any questions about running the pit report?
We have one question come through, and it says from Tracy, if the housing program is vouchered, do we count available vouchers? So this comes up a lot for rapid rehousing programs where they're funded dollars, not necessarily like a set amount of units. So for some of those projects, your capacity will always be considered 100%, and the point in time will be your unit and bed availability. But if you have a set number of vouchers, so if you're a program that says we have 100 vouchers and no more, no less, then that would be, you would be counting those as beds and units, if that makes sense. And then Trevor, yes, we will send out these materials, which will also have the locations for the HIC report in the public folder. It is in the public folder. You're just looking for federal reports. And then when you click on that, you'll see the HIC pit, but we will send those instructions as well.
Before we close out, I just wanted to do a gentle reminder. The reports are being modified on our end and they'll be available the first week of January. We're also going to be sending out the materials from this session in January, that first week, that Tuesday. Everything will be out to you all with all of the materials, everything mapped out with regards to where the location is for the files for these particular reports. Everything will be sent out the first week of January.
All right, so I guess that wraps us up. If nobody has any more questions, your feedback is really important to us. There's going to be a survey that comes out. This is also how we account for attendance. If your question was not answered, please go ahead and submit a ticket to us at the help desk and we will get you taken care of. Other than that, we all hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and we will see you all soon.